Hello and welcome back to another edition on the King K Games channel. My name is Kay. It is good to have you with us again. Today we are in the UK. I have a couple of runs that I want to try to get in today, hopefully computer permitting. The first run I want to start off is off of the East Coast Main Line, starting out in Leeds, heading down towards London King's Cross. We are in the East Coast livery for the Class 91, and it is wet and rainy. Right now, I have the game paused. I am actually eager to jump into this, so let's get into it. And I'm just going to unpause the game. Let's get the cab set up. Acknowledge AWS. Turn on my instrument lights. Put the wipers on. Headlights. Vigilance is on. Doors are actually already open. Let's get a more wider shot here. Turn the platform is a little funky right now. Set up my passenger's camera and my number 3 camera. Some announcement.
Welcome aboard this East Coast service to London King's Cross. We will be calling at Doncaster and Peterborough. The next stop on this train will be Doncaster.
Doncaster's next, as the rest of the game loads. Thank God. I actually really like this livery. It is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I may do some more runs with it. I just love the way, even though you hear all the ambient air conditioning, sounds like this really is a pretty generic looking interior cab, but it's always been said simpler is always better. And I like the way it looks. But looks like the doors are going to be closing pretty soon, and we can depart.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
Gonna hop out and set up. Doors are closing. As we had a Trans-Pennine Express train leaving. Releasing the brakes and flying power. I'll put it forward. Next stop is Doncaster. 25 leaving the platform. vigilance. So sorry. Let's adjust our camera. I really do like this unit. As I said, it's a simple looking interior, but it's very cleaned up. Like, not too complex. Not a whole bunch of cabin noise. And I'm more upset with myself that I have not played with this more in the past. Like, I haven't done too many East Coast mainline runs, but I do plan to in the future. I honestly feel like the East Coast mainline does not get enough love. Even though I'm a big West Coast mainline fan. Being American and having actually gone out there a couple of times, I have been on the West Coast mainline a couple of times, more than a couple of times, but I would like to show some love to some of the other mainlines. And we can now get up to 30 as we see an Azuma train waiting on the right. Just gonna get up to 60% here as we can now get up to 40. It's gonna be a wet and rainy ride. So keep your umbrellas handy. Next stop will be Doncaster. As we make our way towards the East Coast mainline. Neutral section coming up. Going full beans here as we hit the neutral section. And that's another thing I like about this unit. This is an AP unit. So it actually does the neutral zone all for me instead of me having to lower my power. It kills the power for me, which I think is pretty cool. One less thing the driver has to worry about. I'm actually not sure if the drivers still kill the power in real life. I would assume they wouldn't need to if the train does it for them. But it should still be good practice. But we're making our way towards Doncaster. Miles per hour limit. Should be fun. this unit is not very hard to handle. I do like that too. Some units I'll drive and I have to press buttons multiple times just to get a reaction. This one is pretty well behaved. I also do like this. It's got a different kind of shifter here for the power brake. It's not a typical PVC handle. It's very unique. I don't think I've seen other units with this. And also the master key is in the middle of the train, which is a little different for me too. Usually it's on this side. That I've noticed anyway. Miles to Doncaster. Top outside. We can now get up to 85. Just going to apply some more power. Just under 24 miles to Doncaster. On a wet, rainy day in the UK. Admittedly, I am not too familiar with the East Coast Main Line. I do think it should get some more love, at least in Train Some World. There's like really no love. That Peterborough to, what is it? Is it Doncaster? I feel like it doesn't get enough love, and it's kind of boring, if you ask me. I also think the Southwest Main Line should get some more love too. I mean, I would love to see Waterloo in the game. I've done plenty of runs down to Penzance, so I really don't need to see Paddington that much. But Waterloo in the game would actually be pretty cool as well. Get some of those 444s in the game. I really would love to know what Dovetail thinks when they actually plan out what route they want to do next. Like, do they have like a board that says what they would like to do? and then they talk to third parties to see what they're doing, and they say, well, you can't do this because we're doing it. Or if they just say, hey, I like this, I don't care what anybody else says, I want this in the game. Or do third party people come to them and say, hey, I have this and I can get this done within this amount of time frame. Let me know how we can get this done. It's like I do remember Alan Thompson saying his original plan was to go to Crew from Piccadilly, and it never got done. And I'm actually hoping it gets done in the future, like they finish that route, because that would be awesome. But until then, I just have to pray that we get it in the future. It's a good route. It's just a little short to me. Almost like it kind of needs to go to Crew. And if they do finish the route and it goes to Crew, are they gonna charge us as another DLC? Or are they gonna do what Incredible Games is doing and giving us the rest of the route for free, as long as you have paid for the original route? Because I believe that would be an upstanding thing to do. Everything doesn't have to be a cash grab. I think Dovetail has gotten enough of my money. And with all of the bugs and broken gameplay I've been getting, I kind of feel like they owe me one. At the same time, I do understand it's a business, so I'm not fully upset about it. But yeah, I feel like they actually owe me one. I digress. Just under 19 miles to Doncaster. As we get ready to get up to 90 miles an hour. Full beans here. I do love this rain effect. This is the number 17. If you're familiar with the editor, it's the number 17. I believe it's Stormy Rain. That's what it might be called, Stormy Rain. It's not an AP pack, but I mean, I think it looks good. Everything doesn't have to be AP enhanced. I mean, as far as my trains, I like them AP enhanced because I get more features on it. But something simple like rain, I think this does the job fine. Does the job fine. how many ways can you make water look wet? So it's just fine for me. 16 miles to Doncaster. Sounds amazing. Just got caught with the vigilance. Just under 15 miles to Doncaster. Or is it Doncaster? Sometimes my English, my American English, makes me say words that you would say different over there. Like I just don't get why some of the places in the UK, and I love the UK, don't get me wrong, I've been there twice this year, but some of the places in the UK, they put W's in their words that they don't use, which as an American can be very confusing because I want to say it a certain way and it's pronounced a different way. But having been there a bunch of times and actually having some British friends, I've gotten used to it. So now when I see a word with a W in it, I don't even see the W anymore. But it's always on my mind because, again, I am American and we pronounce out W's. If you put it in the word, it's most likely going to be used. 12 miles to Doncaster. It is what it is. Check on the passengers. There are no passengers, but it is quiet in there. Enjoying the ride. I definitely could be able to go to sleep in this if I heard this. Power. just under 9 miles to Doncaster. As we head to London King's Cross as our final destination today. Make sure you hang on to your tickets because you will need them to exit the station.
Welcome aboard this East Coast service to London King's Cross. Just over 6 miles to Doncaster. I used to do runs where I just wanted it to be a nice, perfect, sunny day. And I never wanted to actually do any runs with rain. I just didn't think it looked right. And then I actually found this one in the editor. I clicked on it by accident. So when I actually played the route that I was trying to, the scenario I was trying to fix, and this came on, I was like, this doesn't look too bad. And since then, I've been kind of alternating whether I wanted to use the rain effect or have a nice, bright, sunny day. And chances are, if it's a route that I've actually done before, I most likely would switch it up a little bit. You know, like if it's a route I'm doing for the first time, I would go with the sunny route just because I want to see what the scene looks like. I like immersion. But if I've done the route before, even if it's not the scenario I've done before, I want to see something different. You know, like I've even gotten used to doing a couple of night runs. I really don't think night runs look great when you're trying to stream it, personally. Because the lighting, I feel the lighting off of the trains don't help in the UK anyway. But I've done a couple of streams where I've done some night runs and they've looked okay. There was one I did recently in the Peterborough, and I literally had to turn on the lights in the cab because I couldn't see anything, and streaming that way is horrible. It's just horrible. Less than 2 miles to Doncaster, so I'm just gonna start applying some braking here as we get hello, knowledge.
is 70 already. Actually, I'm going to drop this level 2 on the braking. I don't want to hit 40 just yet. This is Doncaster. Make sure you have all your belongings with you upon exiting. Hours 40. As we pass by Azuma. Coast here until we get closer. Zone right before the station. Okay. But this is Doncaster. Doors will be opening on the left. Make sure you have all your belongings with you. Enjoy the rest of your day if you're leaving. All right, those are closing. Releasing the brakes and applying power.
We will be calling at Peterborough. The next stop on this train will be Peterborough.
All right, Peterborough's next. 76 miles. As we can now open it up to 120. For note, the game is actually still looks really good. With all the enhancement packs and AP weather and signals and vegetation that we get with this thing, it really does hold up. And honestly, I prefer to play this over Tracing World. Tracing World is, unfortunately, slowly falling apart. Yeah, the graphics do better, but my gameplay just makes me not want to play the game. I'll still play the game, I just have no interest in playing. Which is sad because I do like some of the roots on that, but it's very inconsistent. Like anything I do in the class 350, I have a horrible time. My doors don't want to stay locked. I took the faults off so I can have an actual good gameplay. And my doors still be broken. And this was even after the patch. I was looking forward to the Birmingham recruit route, and I played it the first day, and I had so many issues. I was like, I can't play this. And then I waited till after the patch, and I still had problems with the 350. And until it all gets resolved, I really do not want to play it. Which is sad because I really like that Morristown line. The Arrow 3 is quickly becoming one of my favorite trains to run. I just love that old time clunky feel I get when I play on that route. And the ALP 46 is one of my favorite American trains. It's probably one of the trains I see the most because it's like my hometown train. But Train Sim World is just not doing it for me right now. And another streamer came on my channel last week and reminded me about SimRail. And I do have SimRail, but they don't have enough content for me to just want to just keep jumping over there. But I will play it just so I can at least acknowledge that, you know, there is more than just any dovetail games. And there is a variety out there of other train sim games that we can play. Just like World of Subways. You know, being a New York guy, I definitely would love to see the New York City subway, at least in Train Sim World. But Matt Peddleston actually acknowledged that they're not even trying to do any more underground trains, because they pretty much would be just guessing with underground trains, which is totally fine. Who the hell would know anyway? Like, you're underground. And if people actually have a problem with guessing on an underground train game, then they're taking this a little too serious. You know? You either go straight, you make a turn, and then you stop in a station. What is there to be upset about if they were to guess? But we're not going to get it unless it's a third-party game. So I'm actually hoping somebody better than I am who can actually create a subway game can make one. I don't want to wait like 5 to 10 years from now because I wanted to try it on my own and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Because let's be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. So I would be guessing on my own right now. And I've tried to dabble in it a little bit, but I, for the life of me, can't figure out how to go about doing it. I've looked at Google Maps. I tried to look at YouTube videos on how I could actually do this. It's not an easy thing. So I do give credit to those who actually take their time and create actual DLCs in this game. Like Incredible Trains is a one guy company, and he actually managed to do an actual DLC for Train Sim World all by himself. So kudos to that guy. Much respect. I would love to get my own DLC in here. But getting back to the subway routes, I was actually playing a game called World of Subways. It's not new by any means at all. But talking to another streamer and he mentioned SimRail, got me looking into my Steam library, and it was definitely in my Steam library. So I played it, and it was a game that was close to home for me. It was the number 7 train, New York City subways, and it goes from Times Square, Manhattan, out to Queens, Main Street, Queens. But as a kid, I used to take that train all the time. I'm not from Queens, but I am a Mets fan, and to get out to the ballpark, you would have to take that train. You wouldn't have to take it, but the best way to get there would be by train. So I would take that train. And I have very fond memories of taking that train. They were called Redbirds. For 2 reasons. One, they were red, so hence the name Redbirds. But they were actually officially called Redbird trains. And I remember taking it, and when you take the train, it would go local out to the ballpark. So you would stop at every station in Queens, and you pick up a bunch of people, all different types of ethnicities. Because Queens is a very, very diverse area. And about 2 stations before you get to Willets Point, which is where Shea Stadium was in Flushing, you would just see this big, looming blue building just start small and get massively bigger as you get closer to it. It was one of the best feelings as a kid I can remember, looking out the front window. Because back then, like, the window right next to the driver's cab, or door I should say, because they were in, the cab was literally right next to where all the people was. And I would see this, and I would hear the clicking from the train driver driving and looking out the window. And at nighttime, you would see all the lights on the stadium just lighting up, and they had these big neon lights on them, and it was just so remembrance of like all the best players that we used to have. Right now we're not so great, but we should be. And it was just a very fond memory for me as a kid. So I hopped into it, I played it, and I recorded a little something. I don't know. I may make a video about it later, but there is other things other than Dovetail games to play out there. Legio Maximus, buddy, how's it going? Sorry, I was on a rant there. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Hope everything is good. Right now we are on the East Coast Main Line in the Class 91 heading to Peterborough and then King's Cross. 55 miles to Peterborough. 55 miles. Yeah, man. Like I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm showing the East Coast Main Line some love today because I don't do enough runs on this thing, and I really do like this unit that we're driving today. It's simply quiet. The vigilance isn't annoying like the Voyager to me. The Voyager's vigilance is the worst. I just really like this unit, and I haven't played this enough. So I'm just trying to show this some love. Yeah, I know, but the good thing about it's a whole train. The good thing about Train Sim Classic is I can always jump into it. It's like I want to do an actual full East Coast main line all the way up to Inverness or just somewhere in the northern Scottish area, and I think I want to do it in this one. I've done too many runs in the Class 800 series trains that I don't want to do an Azuma run. I honestly do like this livery. Like even when I did that run in the GNER livery, it was in this livery, but the GNER skin, and I even like the colors that it had. Like, you know, my love will always be to the Pendolino, but if I ran a Pendolino on the East Coast main line, the community would have a fit. It would have a fit. So I just want to do a nice run, enjoy the unit, and not have everyone mad at me. Did you guys actually have something that happened recently that you guys are in remembrance for? It's like I've seen some reskins on like the 710 that was in like remembrance of something. Or is that what you're actually talking about with the 11? Like, a lot's been happening, especially in the UK. Like the landslide, I saw the news about that, and then I think, what is it, like a couple of weeks ago, there was like a really bad incident. Okay, that's what it is. I wasn't quite sure what that was. Like, someone had mentioned it to me before. Yeah, makes sense now. Alright, I gotta drop down here. Gotcha. I need to know all this stuff if I ever move out there. don't think it'll be on a test or anything, but it's still good to know. Other than that, I hope things are well for you. $44 miles to Peterborough. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. I heard about that. That's terrible. And I also heard about the landslide that happened last week. Which is also why I think UK trains should have brighter lights on their trains. Like, I'm not sure if it was a nighttime situation that this happened in, but I've always said that the lights in the front of the train are not bright enough. Apply more power here. Like, did the driver see the landslide and was able to kind of slow down enough to where there were no casualties, thank God, but or did he just hit the landslide and momentum just slowed them down? So I saw the news on is it ITV? ITV, is that a news station out there? I caught it on YouTube. So passing Zuma. Miles to Peterborough. Feels good to actually get a quick one in. I say quick, but this is probably gonna be like 2 hours long. Last week I did a full night Riviera sleeper run, which took 7.5 hours straight. So yeah, this is pretty quick. And I've actually done that run before the opposite way, and it only took 5. I don't know why it took 7 hours last week. that looks cool. I didn't actually see that livery. Um, but yeah, that looks cool. What is that? That's a 91? Oh, it's the same one I'm actually driving. That's pretty cool. Like even in the picture that you just sent me, the 91 looks cool. Yeah, I seen it like before I actually came online to stream. I was actually watching another one of my friends who streams, and he had the skin, and he was using it on the 710, which is where I seen it. And I was kind of curious because I didn't catch the stream from the beginning, and I noticed it wasn't the typical blue and orange on the 710, and I was looking at it weird. I'm like, is that a cross country skin? Like, I'm like, what is that? And that's when they started talking about it. So I was a little curious about it. I thought something had happened recently that they did this, but you know, after you telling me about the remembrance, it makes sense now. Yeah, I think our Memorial Day is in May. No, actually, our Veterans Day is where we remember the veterans. Is next week. Yeah, our Veterans Day is next week. So it seems like our countries do the same similar things. It's just ours is reverse from yours. Yeah, ours is reverse from yours. Step one here. 30 miles from Peterborough. Man, I put a lot of AI on this route. Actually, hope I don't have any issues. I built this route a while ago and just never ran on it. I'm slowly trying to connect my maps so I can get a full East Coast run. Like this one started in Leeds. But it has the potential to go up to York. So I'll probably adjust the rest of this map at some point. Yeah, I know Alan Thompson has a lot of good stuff, but like sometimes their requirements makes me not want to do it because it's so much stuff I need. And if I don't have it, I'm just like, I really don't want my computer to crash. Because I already have so much stuff on my computer that's making it lag. And I don't want to. I wasn't paying attention. Was that a single yellow? Guess we'll find out soon. That looks yellow. That's good. Never mind. Not really sure what the 2 yellows were. So just DLCs? Because if it's just DLCs, then I think I have them. So I'll probably look at it later and see if I can do the full merge. I want to say Husky Kaye did one full merge one day. I just don't have the want to sit down for a full 5-6 hours right now after doing that night Riviera last week. It's very, very taxing. Alright, gotcha. I don't think I have all of those. But if they're freeware, I'll definitely look at it. I'll look at it later and add them. Now my next question would be, is there plenty of AI on it, or is it just like one train every 20 minutes? Because that's boring to me. I feel like I'm just the only train on the track like that. I'd probably still have to build. It's a given at this point. I'll definitely look into it. I think the next run I'm doing after this one is also in Alan Thompson scenario. Of course, I altered it a lot. But it's off of his what is that? Kingsland King's Cross route, which is another DLC I haven't really done anything on. But we'll try that later. That one. 20 miles to Peterborough. As we hit double yellows. See another yellow coming up. It's a pushing the wrong button. It's a AP 170 cross country. Should be fun. Yeah, I think when I built it, it was all it was literally all turbos. Yeah, there's no Voyagers on there. There's no no Great Anglia. What are those? It's like red. I can't. Not even paying attention. For some reason I can't see that far ahead. I don't want to spat. I'm chasing something. Oh, it's flashing. Right, flashing green means I can go at track speed, but be prepared to slow down. If I know my British signals well enough. I'll probably get up to at least 100 and keep my eye on signals. Just under 18 miles of Peterborough. Yeah, they have the EMR ones too. I don't think I put any on that route, but there might be a couple of central logos on there. Not sure if I had all the correct skins. Are there any central trains that go to like Peterborough or stop at Peterborough? I don't really work off the East Coast main line that much. Oh, the 745s, that's what I was thinking. Do the Grand Centrals go to Peterborough? I mean, well, yeah, they go to Peterborough, but do they actually go down towards like Cambridge? Because that I wasn't sure. I thought I read somewhere that those big gauge trains don't run on that line, and I just wanted to try to keep it a little consistent. But at the same time, I still wanted it to be AP enhanced. Yeah, because I originally wanted to use the 220, and then I read somewhere that they didn't travel on that stretch. It said that on that stretch from like Stansted Airport to like Peterborough, they used the 170s or 168s. I'm not even sure anymore. So I just try to keep it consistent. Miles to Peterborough. Outside. I actually used the 70s for the Greater Anglia as well. I didn't even use the 755. Yeah, AP has a skin for the 170 as well for Greater Anglia. So I just kept it all in the TurboStar liveries. At least till I got to Peterborough, then you see all the Zumas and Grand Centrals and 755s. But it was a fun run when I did it the first time. 10 miles to Peterborough. So we got flashing green. I don't think I put any Grand Centrals on this route, but I might change that later. I'll just substitute a couple of Zumas. There's plenty of the Zumas on this route. It's another livery I should do a run in. I don't think I've ever done a run in the Grand Central. So the 8 miles to Peterborough. really much to see on this route. It's just all green.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I really do wish someone would actually create that Elizabeth line. I just keep going back to that. Like, I really would love to see that. Less than 5 miles to Peterborough. It also would have been cool, and I do like this weather effect. This is the 17, number 17 in the editor, Stormy Rain. I've actually used the AP variable before, which kind of, it was pretty cool. Like it gave you a really downpour, like first like 20 minutes of my run, and then the rest of it faded out into a nice bright sunny day. So you get just a taste of you know, 2 weathers basically, instead of doing like a 2-hour run or a 3-hour run like this is right here, and it's all just gloomy looking. Although I do like the way the sky looks, it doesn't look too bad, but it gives you just enough of a taste where you can have some funky weather, and then it's nice and sunny for the rest of the journey. Maybe I'll try that if I ever do this run again with like the Grand Central or something. Step 3 of this. This is Peterborough. Doors should be opening on the left. Please mind the gap on exit. Doors are opening on the left. I don't think I've ever heard that bird before. It's pretty funny.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
All right, doors are closing. Releasing the brakes. And applying power. Were the 91s always this quiet on the outside as well? I feel like I don't hear no motors, nothing. All right, next stop is King's Cross. As we get up to 105 miles an hour. Pass a Great Northern train.
Welcome aboard this East Coast service to London King's Cross.
And we can now get up to 115. It's quiet in here too. Kind of sucks that this is all you can do. I can't turn any further than this to the left. And if I go too far to the right, it gets clipped. Whatever. Never fails with the visuals. Another run that will be cool is actually doing a Ipswich to Liverpool Street run. I would like to try that as well. I also want to do a Dover Priory to St. Pancras run today, but I don't know. Depends on how long these first two runs are. I may take a break in between. So far, hour 40 minutes. And I think the other run is probably another hour. I don't know. We'll see. I'll catch you. Just over 65 miles to London King's Cross. It's not raining as much. Like the lightning effects I keep seeing. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. As we get up to 125. I'm curious, at what point does the greater London area start? would that start at like Huntingdon or somewhere? Stevenage? Yeah, I guess I could just look it up. Some power here. This map doesn't tell me anything. But I told you not. I'm outside for a little bit. Well, as you can see, we just passed Huntingdon. Just under 58 miles to London King's Cross. I'm already planning my next visit to the UK. Just trying to figure out what area I want to stay in this time. Been there twice this year so far. First time I stayed in Canary Wharf, which was amazing. Had some really good food out there. Second time this year, I stayed in Paddington, which wasn't bad. It was just, I had two totally different experiences heading out there this year. On the first trip, the food was amazing. My second trip, the food was not so good, stomach hurting. So I'm just trying to find a balance. Hanging out in Hyde Park was actually pretty cool. was able to get a guide, like just randomly, just good old British hospitality. I was in a park, nice, beautiful, sunny day, and me never being there before, I guess I stood out as a tourist, even though I am very familiar with London. And I'm like taking pictures and all this other stuff. And this very, very nice lady sees me and decides to help me for no reason. You know, she managed to walk me through the park for like 2 hours. This is just some random lady I literally just met as I was taking a picture. And me trying to get some culture, I said, yeah, sure, I don't mind a tour. Thank you very much. The fact that she spent 2 hours of her time showing me around a park, it's fucking great. You think I would have got that in Central Park if I was a visitor and I'm in New York City? I don't think so. In fact, I know so. We are assholes in New York. But it was just great. Like, she's showing me all this stuff, and I'm asking questions and showing an interest. And at the end of the day, she went about her business, I went about my business, and it made my trip that much better. I wish I would have asked her where good food was, because the food I had was horrible. Which really isn't my fault. The last time I was there, I had a really, really good steak. Peppercorn sauce, the whole 9, chips. So I decided I would get that. I've had it before. How much different could it be this time? So I actually went to an actual steakhouse. It literally said steakhouse. Ordered the steak. And this place is the best way for me to describe it. I got out of Paddington Station, and as soon as you get out of Paddington Station, there's a McDonald's on the corner. It might be just past the Underground station, the London Underground station, and there's a McDonald's on the corner. And across the street from the McDonald's is a steak place. It literally says steakhouse on it. So I got the steak and ordered a pint and some chips. I get the steak. It didn't look too bad, but like as soon as I cut into it and took a bite, I was like, and I was like, all right. Let's try the peppercorn sauce. I poured a peppercorn sauce. It was drippy and watery. I'm like, all right, this is not going too well. The chips were good, and the pint was delicious. I forget what it was. Might have been like raspberry cider type of drink or whatever. But I was disappointed. And that was just day 1. Day 2, I actually went to a really good, not West Indian, but where was it? It might have been Greek, or it might have been Greek. But the food was really delicious. I had no problems with that food. Day 3, I decided, all right, I'm not gonna chance it. I'll just go to McDonald's, keep it simple. Even the McDonald's tasted different. I was like, what's going on here? Day 4, I went to a seafood place that was close to my hotel. I think I ordered like calamari and catfish or something. It was fine going down, but the next day my stomach was hurting all day. It just wasn't a good experience food-wise for me. What made it worse was after I had the seafood, and I honestly think I have an intolerance of seafood now, so I don't think it was the actual food. I just think I'm allergic to it now. But the day after, when all that started happening, I was actually taking a trip to Manchester. So here I am on a pedalino. Still have 2 hours in left on the ride to get to Manchester, and I'm starting to get violently sick. Like, I mean, to the point where if I get off the throne, it's gonna be a problem. And I make it to Manchester, thankfully, with no accidents. And honestly, if I did have an accident, I wouldn't even care, because I know no one there. So it's not like someone's gonna be like, hey, ain't you the guy? No. But I get to Manchester and I head out to Man City, Etihad Stadium. And I go out to the stadium. I enjoy like the next 2 or 3 hours, and my train ride back isn't for another 6 hours. Because I was planning on doing a whole bunch of stuff that day in Manchester, and that killed everything for the rest of the day. You know what? I didn't even get a chance to see it. You know, like, my stomach hurting that day killed everything. I spent the next 6 hours in Manchester Piccadilly Station, sipping on Pepto and water, because I didn't want to be too far from the bathroom. That's how bad it was. Pepto and water for like 3 hours straight, until I started to feel a little bit better. Because I refused to go anywhere far not knowing what was going to happen. It was the worst feeling I ever had. Like, it literally dehydrated me. I mean, they do have the meats. Do you guys have Arby's out there? I see plenty of Burger King and KFC out there. Dude, I've literally been to Arby's 3 times in my life, and every time I've gone, I've gotten like a fish sandwich. So I don't even know what else they have that would make me violently get sick if I were to go there. Arby's. Yeah, I'm just chalking up that trip to just I picked the wrong places to go. And we've talked about this before. I actually like Whitney's. Well, you know the thing about Pizza Hut, because we have plenty of those here too. They're not the same. I remember as a kid, Pizza Hut used to be an actual sit-down restaurant, and then they started changing that to just like carry-out type restaurants, and it's almost like the pizza changed with it. Oh, I agree. I agree. I think my girlfriend wanted a whole pie from there one time, and it was like $20. I'm like, $20? Well, that's even worse. 30 pounds. The pounds are more than a US dollar, so that's even worse. That's why they're going bankrupt. They need to come down on the price. I only go there on special occasions now, like if my girlfriend asks for it. Dude, honestly, when I went out to Liverpool, there was a good restaurant over in not Bromley Moor Dock. What is that? Dock where the Beatles museum is. There's a pizza restaurant over there, and I got a whole pie, a personal pie, and it was very delicious. I had 2 different types of pepperonis on it, and it was quite delicious. Just over 30 miles to King's Cross. It was quite delicious, which was very surprising to me. You know, me being from New York. You know, the pizza in New York is amazing. If you ever come to New York, make sure you get some good pizza. And the pizza was actually quite delicious out there. But Tesco, I've actually never been to Tesco. I keep hearing things about Tesco, and I have been to Asda. Is Asda the same thing as Tesco? I have been to Asda. Which I thought was pretty cool too. There was a whole bunch of stuff in there I was able to collect when I had dropped my daughter off in school. But she was in Roehampton. Actually a quite neighborhood too. Like if I moved out there, I wouldn't mind moving somewhere over there. Barnes, Fulham. I know those are expensive places I'm talking about, but those would be cool. Yeah, my next trip out there, I want to try a different neighborhood. I mean, Paddington was cool. I love Canary Wharf, but I would like to go somewhere else. "27 miles to King's Cross." You guys have Taco Bell? So I believe all of those those restaurants are owned by the same company. AFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. I think those are all owned by a company called Yum Brands. It's like if you see those out here in the States, sometimes they're like right next to each other because they're owned by the same person. Or sometimes they'll split a store and you'll have on one side Pizza Hut, or KFC or Taco Bell. Like they'll split it. Honestly, I'm actually tired of doing it. What did you have in Florida? I'm just gonna creep up to this light. I don't open it. Okay. Velvet. Yeah, no, those are cool areas. Was it raining when you went there? I've noticed in Florida it always rains. Like the sun will be out and it's raining. The thing about Florida, every time I go, it's like I've gone to Disney a lot recently. It's like my girlfriend's a big Disney fan, so I get forced down there. One, it's always rainy, but the sun is out. And two, trains get delayed and canceled a lot when I need to leave Florida. I went out there for work not too long ago. This might have been early this year, maybe late last year. And my train got delayed. My plane got delayed for 6 hours. Which I guess isn't really a big deal, but for my company it is because I'm still on the clock. So they're paying me for 6 hours just to sit around and play with my phone. Because that's basically what I was doing. So a normal trip from Florida to New York or New Jersey is roughly 2.5 to 3 hours. If you drive, it's about 20. So a quick flight like that from Florida to, I left from Jacksonville. From Jacksonville to New Jersey, Newark International. Should be about 3 hours. It took me 10. So that's 10 pretty much 10 hours on the company's dime because they legally have to pay me for my whole time until I reach my door of my apartment. And I get to work the next day and they're like, why didn't you just go back to the hotel? I'm like, how can I go back to the hotel if I'm already at the airport and I checked out? Like, they're thinking about the budget and I'm like, okay, that makes no sense because I was already leaving, so obviously I checked out. You know, I returned the rental car and all that. So, like, you could have just said either get another room or and come back the next day, or um, good luck. Like, do what you can. And I already was not gonna come out of pocket because it's not great. I already was not gonna come out of pocket because on my trip down there, I had a rental car set up, and for some reason the company card would not work, which means I had to use my own personal card to rent a car, which really bothered me because not because I had to use the car, because I would have got my money back anyway. I definitely would have built in for it, but it meant that they had to do a credit check, and I'm like, why do you have to do a credit check? I'm like, that makes no sense. I'm like, why are you doing a credit check? And the guy's like, well, we need to verify that it's you. I'm like, but I just made the appointment in my name with a different card. It's like, I'm like, make it make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. I'm like, you know it's me. And you're standing here and you know that the credit card is not working. I'm just giving you another alternative. So that bothered me a little bit because that also went on my credit report for no reason. So that bothered me too. And I refused to pay for another hotel out of pocket that same trip. So it didn't matter what they said to me. I was not gonna use my card again. But here's the thing: if I would have got another room, it means I would have had to rent another car because I already returned the car, and then I would have to find a hotel with a vacancy. So it would have been more legwork while I'm in the airport trying to figure out what hotel I'm gonna go to than just waiting for 6 hours and coming home. Because I booked all of that in advance. Like, I booked all of that at least 3 weeks in advance. I mean, I love traveling. You know, having a company card is awesome. Like, they'll pay for food, all that good stuff. But it's always a hassle when you come home and you gotta fill out those expense reports because you gotta keep all your receipts. And they don't want to see digital receipts. They want pictures of your actual receipts. So I used to have to keep all the receipts in one little bag just in case they go, nope, you're being audited. And I'm like, for what? Like, you're auditing me for a receipt that I used to eat at like McDonald's. Like, really? $5? I can give you the $5 back. It's like, come on, man. And some of those conferences that I would go to, they jack up the room prices. So it can be like say it's a 45-pound hotel room. For the week that I'm there, they jack it up to 95 pounds. Just because it's that week. That's the stuff they do when conferences come to their town. That happened to me in San Francisco. Yeah, but my whole issue is you're not you're not gonna get burnt with me with that situation because I'm standing in front of you and I already gave you the card with my name on it because it has my actual name on it. I gave you my ID, so you know it's me. It has my face on it. Like, if I give you an alternative because the option that we're working with isn't working, like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to get this done. Because I had actually took a late flight when I went there that day. Because I think I had something to do with my daughter. So I took a late flight, which meant I landed at like 10:30 at night. And I actually had to be to work on a shoot the next day at 8 o'clock. Now, I landed in Jacksonville, Florida, and I had to get to Fort Lauderdale. No, is it Fort Lauderdale? It might have been Tallahassee. I had to get to Tallahassee. So I had to rent a car to get to Tallahassee. Tallahassee is another 2-hour drive from Jacksonville. So I didn't get to my hotel until about 1 a.m. that day. At night, I should say. And then I had to go through all of that with the rental of the car. And then drive in a in a state that I have never driven in, to Tallahassee, because I had an interview with the governor of Florida because he was running for president at that time, and on my way to going to my hotel, all that stuff happened, and I got lost. So I didn't get into Tallahassee for probably 3 hours. It's nighttime. I'd never been there. GPS wasn't working right. It was a journey. And then I had to get up early, drive out to the governor's mansion, and we had to set up all our gear, cameras, lights. And on top of that, it was the worst Florida weather ever. It might have been like 110 degrees. Like, literally, we were dying. Like, our equipment was failing because it was so hot. It was so hot. And I remember talking to one of the governor's groundskeepers, and they're working in the sun and everything. And I said, how the hell can you guys work in this heat? And he was like, how the hell can you live in snow? I was like, okay, fair point. Because it doesn't snow over there. Yeah, I never generally have a good time leaving the state of Florida. It's under 12 miles of King's Cross. I appreciate you listening to me rant. 8 hours to Florida? It was 8 hours to New York. But they probably just changed the trajectory a little bit. I mean, it doesn't sound that off. Honestly, I feel easier flying from New York to the UK, or the opposite, because it's not that much turbulence. The ocean is always calm. Flying out to California is horrible. It's horrible. They always have to change their plan because Express. They always have to change their flight plan because of bad winds. So most of the time we'll head towards Canada to avoid some of the winds. And it takes 6.5 to 7 hours to get to like San Francisco. It's bumpy. And I never used to be the best flyer until I started traveling for work. I started developing routines just so I can get used to flying. But I never had any problems flying from New York to the UK. It's always been calm. Maybe a little rough, taking off, but I never have any problems leaving Heathrow. I only have problems leaving JFK. When I came out there in September, my flight was for 9 p.m. It was a 9 p.m. departure from the gate. I got there at 4:30. Because I didn't have anything else to do and I didn't want to drive because I live in New Jersey and I had to go to New York to catch this flight. So I took the trains out there, being a train guy. And that's cool. And I took the trains out there and it got me there about 4:30-ish. And I sat in the airport for roughly 5 hours, and then I get on a plane, and the plane does not leave when it's supposed to, and we sit in the plane literally for 2.5 hours. So now here I am at JFK Airport, and I've been there for pretty much a whole day. And I still have a 8-hour flight. Talk about rough. I'm 6'4". Legs are already rubbing up against the back of the seat. And you're holding me hostage for pretty much almost 12 hours. Just over 5 miles to King's Cross. That was rough. on that. I love going to the UK. Getting close to King's Cross here. We will be arriving at our final destination in less than 4 miles. Probably get another one. Less than 3 miles. This is Finsbury Park. It's Finsbury. Start paying attention now. Five. Knowledge. Double yellow. Here's where it gets tricky because there are dwarf lights over here. And it's raining and I cannot see. Just gonna step one. I'm gonna watch these lights once I get into the tunnel. I'd hate to spad right before I get to the station. It's been a long 2.5 hour run. Hate to lose credit for this. That looks red. It's definitely red. Turn off the wipers. Change, come on.
like I'm moving.
There we go. I just want to see what's going on. Just peek my head out a little bit. ERA is on. Wipers are back on. Okay, so we're definitely waiting for a service to leave. I'm gonna pop this in neutral because I'm not gonna hold this. Let's see what we're waiting for. Couldn't be that guy. He's all the way over there. It might be that guy. It's got to cross to our right. So it just might be that guy. There we go. Works if I put it in forward. Still got yellows. Jeez. This is yellow and not red. Platform 8. Step 1 braking. 15 entering the platform. Now step 2. Thank you, sir. Thank you for enjoying the run with me. This actually was a really good one. I feel bad I haven't done many East Coast runs. as this gradient's kicking my butt. Dwarf signal looks good. We should be clear to the platform. Stop the lag. I think it's the root. No, I don't think it's my computer. Just optimized it yesterday. All right, welcome to King's Cross. Doors will be opening on the right. Watch your step leaving the train. Enjoy the rest of your day. Welcome to London. Let's wipe this off. All right, doors are opening. Such a shame that they're getting rid of these. She really is beautiful. I like it. It's quiet. Even on the outside, it's quiet. I'm not even watching that. How dare you? Okay, and that was the East Coast Main Line, which was quite fun, honestly. I definitely want to do this a little bit more. I know I keep saying that, but I really do mean it. And we'll get the next one loaded up. And this one will be in the class 170. Heading to Peterborough, leaving Cambridge. And I hope you enjoy this one as well. I would love to submit one of these pictures that I keep seeing here. I feel like that would be cool. That's a cool shot with the foliage and everything. Hopefully my computer behaves. It's taking a really long time to load. I mean, I know I have a lot of stuff, but ever since the update, I've been having this issue. It's like, I don't know what they changed in the code, but ever since the update, this shouldn't take this long. Not crash. King is waiting. There we go. Why am I shooting the ceiling? Why is that where they put it? All right, let's get the cab set up. Knowledge AWS. I'm gonna put this in neutral. Activate the DVD. Instrument lights are already on. Headlights are on. I have a green light, popping the DRA off. And let's get the doors open. Doors are open. Outside. I have no inside camera on this one. Where's that going? That's right. It doesn't say. Probably, most likely. I think this original route started in Birmingham. So it probably is going to Birmingham. And I can't. I was starting to say I couldn't change my. We're going to Peterborough. Even though I know this is not officially where it's ending. that's where we're going, so I'm changing it to Peterborough. There we go. Right, and
Welcome aboard the cross-country service to Peterborough. Calling at Ely, Manea, March, Whittlesea, and Peterborough. The next stop is Ely. Stand clear of the closing doors.
okay, and we can officially depart. As soon as I put this back in the forward. All right, just under 15 miles to our first stop. .35 leaving the platform. This should be enjoyable. It's gonna be a lot of 170s on this run. 168s, possibly too. No 755s. I wasn't sure if those were allowed on this section. I mean, I know they do go out to like Stansted, but I wasn't sure if this section was allowed to have them. Yeah, so I just used the 170 version. Greater Anglia. I've actually had people get mad at me if I've used the wrong type of train in a certain area. Like it kills the video for them. They're like, oh my god, using that. Oh. And I just want to be like, dude, did you enjoy the video? That's all that matters. Like it's not an actual real life experience. I try to keep it as real as it can. But you gotta give me some slack. I'm not even from the UK. Like I'm trying my best to keep it as close to possible. But having never been on that part or this part, I have to go off of what I find on the internet. Yeah, would I like it to be as realistic as possible? Yes. But every once in a while, one will slip through. Especially when it's like a 6-hour video. Like leaving from Glasgow to like Manchester Piccadilly or something. I do love the announcements though. I kind of wish it was on all the routes already. It's extra work I have to do to add them. I mean, it's still fun. I just, after already putting in work, you know, trying to fix the scenario. It would be nice if I didn't have to actually put in more work to hear announcements to keep the realism alive. Just under 12 miles. Is that Greater Anglia? I also have a run using the 378, leaving King's Lynn, coming back to King's Cross. I felt like that would be too much for today, so I'll save that for another time. It would be cool since I'm doing all these East Coast mainline runs. Although officially, is this part of the East Coast mainline? Yeah, I know it connects to Peterborough, but is it officially part of the East Coast mainline? Or would this be like a branch, like Felix Stowe? It's probably a branch. Just over 8 miles to Eli. I like these units. The only problem I have with it, and it's the same problem I had on the Chilton, there's no passenger views. Not that it's a big deal, but I mean AP usually puts all the bells and whistles on their APs, but for some reason the 170s that they gave us do not have any passenger views. Four-car train. Tell me you can't put it in one of those 4 cars? solar panels. It's a lot of solar panels. Back on the PVC. I also wanted to do a Tadami line run, but I see 1010 just did one yesterday, and I don't want to feel like I'm copying him, so I'll do that at a later date. I mean, if I gotta be like anybody, being like 1010 is not a bad idea, but at the same time I want to be different, so I'll hold that for another day. Just over 3 miles to our next destination, which is...
We will soon be arriving at Ely.
Is it Ely or Eli? I think of Ely, and I think of the GWR, like Ely Broadway. I don't know. 2 miles to our first destination. Wanted for the 50. And that's the water warning for the 35 on the other end of the platform. But we are clear to the platform. I do find it weird that leaving King's Lynn is just one track. I feel like King's Lynn is a big enough name that it could have more than just one track leaving and entering. But again, I've never been, so this is Ely, if I'm saying it right.
This is Ely.
Said this is Ely. All right, doors will be opening on the left. Legio Maximus, I lied to you. There's one right there. I guess I did. All right, doors are opening.
Welcome aboard the cross-country service to Peterborough. Calling at Manea, March, Whittlesea, and Peterborough. The next stop is Manea. Stand clear of the closing doors.
Manea is next. Two for the guard. Applying power. All right, we get up to 35 here. Is next. And we can get up to 60. I really do love this unit. No matter what I put this on, I always have fun driving this unit. Wish I had a working GSMR on it. It's definitely better than the original DTG version. As we can get up to 75 here. Full beans. Next stop is Manea. We are heading to Peterborough. Just under 6 miles to our next destination. I'm gonna hop outside for a little bit. Nothing but green. I would love to see this much green around me. I actually don't know what I would do. There would definitely be a difference in my lifestyle. I grew up in the city, so this definitely would be a difference for me. It would be a welcome change. Definitely. I would love to slow down. Personally, I work too much. So if I had something like this, not that I was retiring or anything like that, but if I had something like this, I would definitely enjoy it. It is, but for me, I was born and raised in the city, and even now, like I live in Jersey, and this is more like southern Jersey. Like I live in the northern part of Jersey. Bergen County is where I'm at. There's still pretty much uh, a lot of high traffic. Like this scenery right here, I would only see this on if I was actually driving up north in New York State. Not North Jersey, because I'm already North Jersey. So for us to go more north, it would end up being New York. And if we go west, it ends up being Pennsylvania. So the only way I would see this actually in Jersey is if I go south. And even going south, there's always a lot of traffic. It's like you got the Jersey Shore people who like want to go to the beach and stuff like that. So it's always crowded heading down. And just to get out of Jersey, that's from where I am, it's still another 2 hours before you hit like Pennsylvania, like Philadelphia, or Delaware, which would be the next state on the southern tip of Jersey. Pennsylvania would be on the western tip of Jersey, and New York is on the northern tip of Jersey. So,
We will soon be arriving at Manea.
but I honestly would love to see this. I only see this passing through. Dude, I'm doing 42 miles an hour and it feels like I'm doing 10. Is that in Albany? It sounds familiar. That sounds familiar to me. Alright, this is Manea. Out Jersey. Anything past Central Jersey to me, it's still a little hazy for me. As far as counties, anyway. I don't know all the counties past Woodridge. Doors opening on the left.
This is Manea. Welcome aboard the cross-country service to Peterborough. Calling at March, Whittlesea, and Peterborough. The next stop is March. Stand clear of the closing doors.
I don't know why the doors didn't open there. I clearly was not past the station. Yeah, I don't know why she pronounces it like that. I was thinking the same thing. It's like I get a different accent every time I every time I put in the same info. I was thinking the same thing. I do know Morris County. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Pittsburgh. She's probably gonna say it again. It's funny because when I actually did that North London lines, no, actually not the North line, the Morgan extension one that I did, the accent that the AI did originally was totally different than what he ended up saying at the end of the video. It was funny because like the words were spelled the same way when I put them into the computer, and all of a sudden it was like he had a totally different accent at the end of the video, and it was the same voice. I don't know how they figure out how to pronounce the dialect, but like, for example, in the beginning of the video, the AI said Stevenage, was the last stop. By the end of the video, he was saying Stevenage, and I'm like, why did your dialect just change? Totally weird. Warning for the 60. Stevenage. Also, Legio Maximus, I don't know if you've seen it, but 2755s did pass already. So I'm a liar. I thought I put 170s, Great Anglia. And I probably did, but I guess I also threw some 755s.
We will soon be arriving at March.
She said that funny too. It's not like she said match. It's like she just threw a Boston accent on it. Match. All right, dropping down to 40 here. There's the warning, acknowledged. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and do that southeastern high-speed run. So we're already gonna be at 4 hours. Trying to get peckish. Definitely gonna get it in today though. There's the 170s. 170 graveyard. Chilled. Fives to the left. Slowing down my computer. It was a 170 graveyard. But I knew you were going to do that.
This is March.
Alright, this is match, as she said. Doors opening on the left.
Welcome aboard the cross-country service to Peterborough. Calling at Whittlesea and Peterborough. The next stop is Whittlesea. Stand clear of the closing doors.
Gotta hop out. There's a closing. All right, we can get up to 75 in a minute. All right, full beans here. I knew you were going to mention that Chilton 170. Okay, what's going on? One of my destinations. For some reason, we're not not stopping at Whittlesea when I know it was on here. It's not even on. I'm gonna stop at it. Let's see how far away it is. Stopping at Whittlesea anyway. Unfortunately, I got no notification on what that was, so if that was a new follow, I apologize. Write something in the chat, and I will acknowledge you. As I check my alerts. Alerts are on. All right, we are 10 miles from Peterborough, but I am stopping at Whittlesea because I was scheduled to, and I don't know what happened. Just under 10 miles to Peterborough. Peterborough, however you want to say it. Start braking here. I do want to stop at Whittlesea. I did plan on stopping at Whittlesea.
We will soon be arriving at Whittlesea.
Tractor. Where are we? Still got a little bit. I can put some speed in. amazing. It pops up on my track, but it is not on my stop location. But we're stopping anyway, because I did plan to. My only answer is it probably, or I probably changed it to a via location. Wanting for the 60. I probably changed it to a via location and thought it was a stopping location, which is why it is showing on my track here, but it's not a destination. So we will stop at this station. Just know it was scheduled as a stop. For some reason, it got changed somehow, but it's all good. I was notified and I will alight. This is now a request stop. You guys do that out there, right? Request stops. This is Whittlesea. Those will be opening on the left. If I stop in time.
This is Whittlesea. Welcome aboard the cross-country service to Peterborough. Calling at Ely, Manea, March, Whittlesea, and Peterborough.
I'm going without the acknowledgement.
The next
there.
stop is Ely.
No. Why did she go back to the beginning? I think she lost her mind at Peterborough. Alright, next stop is Peterborough. 6 miles. Hey, pizza bread. 755. Alright, Peterborough will be our last stop. We can get up to 75 here. I did not. I was actually trying to find some good food out there, and I had no luck this last trip. Most of the food when I went out there in September was local. Like, I got a lot of food over in the Paddington area. I would have loved to have traveled anywhere for some good food. I really wish I went out there the week of Carnival. But it is what it is, you know. But like, I'm compiling a list of all the places I want to go for my next visit, because I'm probably gonna go back out there in like another 4 months. So I'll put that on my list. I'll put that on my list. Is that Greek? It sounds like it could be Greek. Turkish? Yeah. Dude, either way, I'm eating it. I'm greedy. I love food, man. Yeah, I love food, so I'll definitely look out for that. Yeah. Is it on a stick? Like, do they put it on the pita, but it still has a stick in it? With like some of the tzatziki sauce and like lettuce and tomato, maybe a little onion. Because now you're making me hungry. No? Is it sliced or is it like cubed? Because that makes a difference in the taste for me as well. I mean, it's still good either way, but I expect it to taste a certain way when I like slice it than when I do when it's like cubed. Yeah, dude, that sounds delicious. Out here, it's kind of considered a gyro. Like they'll put like some of the white sauce on it, the tzatziki sauce, and it's delicious. But either way, I'm eating it, 'cause I'm greedy. Yeah, out here we make that with chicken. It can be with lamb. It can be with beef. Um, like it's kind of all sorts of different ways, but it's still delicious either way. Dropping down to 30 to 40 here before we hit 30. Sounds like a plan, man. Like, I would love to get some real food, some good food that won't keep me in the bathroom for 6 hours. I don't know where I'm staying though. I'm still trying to figure that out. I do like Canary Wharf. I don't think I paid a lot of money to stay in Canary Wharf. And it's off the Elizabeth line, so I didn't mind because I like the Elizabeth line. A mile and a third to Peterborough. As we come around the bend here, should wrap around to the left or to the right here, but this is Peterborough. This is Peterborough. As we travel under the East Coast Main Line. And this will be our final destination. With all the warnings in the world. Single yellow, but we're clear to the platform. head up hill. It's gonna apply a little more power. As we reach our final destination of Peterborough. Doors should be opening on the right. Platform 7. And we're late. We're late off of that whole Whittlesea debacle before that train. This is Peterborough. Just see. All right, doors opening on the right. Shut the train down. The array is on, even though it doesn't show it there. Lights are off. And there you have it. And that was Cambridge to Peterborough. Not bad. Turn this down a little bit slow out. Not a bad run. I actually enjoyed it. I guess I changed some things. Didn't realize it, but I'll fix that in case I actually do this run again. But I actually enjoyed that. I love driving in that Class 170, the AP 170. It's quite fun, actually. No matter what I put it on, Felixstowe, Chiltern, whatever, doesn't matter to me. It's usually a good run, so I won't complain too much about it. And yeah, the first run off of the East Coast main line, leaving Leeds to London King's Cross, was actually fun too. I didn't think it would be that long though, but apparently that was like 3 hours. I thought it would only be like 2, but I mean, it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I really do like that Class 91. I wish I could drive it a little more, but as Legio Maximus told me, it's being phased out. So only time I'll get to play it is probably here if I throw it on like an East Coast mainline run. But I mean, I can't be too upset about that. At least I get to play it on Classic, even though it won't be in Train Sim World. So it's what it is. But that's actually gonna do it for me today, guys. It's been almost a 4-hour stream today. I did want to do some more, but 4 hours is probably gonna be the break point for me before I have to eat and do like a bathroom run or anything like that. So I'm gonna take a break right now. I may be on in like another hour and a half if anybody's still up, especially Legio Maximus, and do that full Dover Priori to St. Pancras run. I also have some stuff I wanted to do in America, but I'll save that for later. Tadami line, also on my radar, that I can't do now because I don't want to copy off of other streamers, you know. So it is what it is. But that's actually gonna do it for me today, guys. It's been fun hanging out with you, Legio Maximus, and anybody else who's been in here. And I will talk to you guys next week. See you later.